Once upon a time, there was a wealthy merchant who had 3 sons and 3 daughters. All of them were very fine children, but especially the youngest daughter, who was so beautiful that everyone called her Beauty. She was not only lovely, but also kind, gentle, and humble. Her 2 elder sisters, however, were very proud and jealous of her. They would not marry anyone except a duke or an earl, while Beauty, with her sweet temper, said she would be quite content to have a good, honest man for her husband. One day, the merchant lost all his wealth in a great storm at sea. He was forced to leave his fine house and move to a small cottage in the countryside. His 2 proud daughters complained bitterly, but Beauty tried to comfort her father and help him with the household work. After some time, the merchant heard that one of his ships, thought to be lost, had safely arrived in port. Hopeful once again, he set out for the city. Before leaving, he asked his daughters what gifts they wanted him to bring back. The 2 elder ones demanded fine dresses and jewels, but Beauty asked only for a single rose, as none grew in their village. When the merchant reached the city, he found that his goods had been taken by creditors, and he returned home as poor as before. On his way back, he lost himself in a forest. It was snowing heavily, and he was cold and hungry. At last, he saw a splendid castle. The gates were open, so he went in for shelter. No one appeared, but he found a table covered with delicious food. Hungry and tired, he ate and then lay down on a bed to rest. The next morning, he found clothes laid out for him and breakfast ready. Before leaving, he saw a beautiful rose garden. Remembering Beauty's request, he plucked a single rose. Suddenly, a terrible beast appeared, roaring, "You are ungrateful! I gave you shelter and food, and now you steal my roses, the dearest thing I have." The merchant trembled and begged for mercy, saying the rose was for his daughter. The beast softened slightly and said, "If your daughter will come here willingly to take your place, I will spare your life. Otherwise, you must die." The merchant returned home, sad and afraid. When he told his family what had happened, Beauty insisted on going to the beast's castle. "Since the rose was for me," she said, "I will go and save you." When she arrived, the beast treated her kindly. Every evening he dined with her and asked, "Beauty, will you marry me?" She always replied, "No, beast, I am grateful to you, but I do not love you." Weeks passed, and Beauty grew fond of the beast. Though ugly, he was gentle and generous. She missed her family and asked to visit them. The beast allowed her to go, but said, "Return in 7 days, or I shall die of grief." Beauty promised to come back. Her sisters were jealous of her fine clothes and tried to delay her return, but Beauty's heart was true. She dreamed that the beast was dying, and she hurried back to the castle. When she arrived, she found the beast lying on the ground near death. Crying, she said, "Oh, beast, live, I love you. Please don't die." At her words, the beast's ugly form melted away, and in his place stood a handsome prince. He said, "A wicked fairy turned me into a beast until a maiden would love me despite my appearance. You have broken the spell." Beauty and the prince were married, and her family came to live with them in the castle. The jealous sisters were turned into statues until they learned to be humble and kind, and Beauty and the prince lived happily ever after.